वैष्णविंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद से अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप धाम की जय। स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to the Assembly Lord. All glories to the Assembly. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Today's Bhagavatam class is Srimad Bhagavatam 6139/40. Again, 6139/40, December 21st, 1970 in Surat. December 21st, 1970 in Surat.
Hare Krishna. Vishnu Dutta, representative of Lord Vishnu, challenged the Jamaduta that if you are representative of Jamaraj, who is supposed to be one of the authorities of religion, then you must explain what is religion, Dharma, and what is non-religion or other. Because according to this principle, one is punished or rewarded. If you become religious, then you are rewarded. And if you are irreligious, then you are punished. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita also. Urdham gachanti sattasva, madhye tishtanti rajasa, jaganna gunavittisya adho gachanti tam. How a man is going to heaven or hell, one can understand from the direction of the scriptures. Just like you can understand how a man is going to be punished or rewarded within this material world. If you see somebody is working very hard, doing nicely, you can conjecture that this man will be happy. Say, for example, if a boy is studying very nicely, you can conjecture that this boy will rise very highly in his future life. And similarly, if a boy is whiling away his time by playing, you can understand this boy is being spoiled. Similarly, by the direction of the scripture, you can understand what is the destination of a certain person. Therefore, they say, Shastra Chakshushya. Whether I am progressing or regressing, that will be understood through the eyes of Shastra, not in ordinary eyes. So, he says, Katham siddhyate danda kimva sthanamipsita. According to punishment and reward, a man, a living entity means this danda, this punishment and reward is meant for the human being, not the animal. Animals are not supposed to be under the stringent laws of materialism. Just like in ordinary way, all the state laws are applicable to the human being, not to the animal. Because if an animal goes to the wrong path, or if an animal takes away something from your possession, he is not punished. Neither anybody goes to complain in the police court. Similarly, human being, that is also civilized human being, advanced civilized. That is stated here. Danda kim karino sarve aho sit kotichit nipam, kotichit noram. Human beings, that is also very few human beings. Because those who are supposed to be advanced, the Aryans are called the advanced human beings. The civilization means Aryan civilization. The kotichit naram, this very word is used here. Not all human beings. Those who are, they are also punished, but a civilized human being is very much responsible life. The chance is given to get out of this cycle of birth and death. Therefore, for civilized human beings, these Vedas, these scriptures are meant for them, not for the rascals and fools, those who are in the lower stage of life, only for the civilized. So the Jamaduta, then the reply is given by the Jamadut, the representative, the constables of Jamaraj. They are working under Jamaraj, who is an authority. They must know what is right and wrong. So how nicely they reply. So the first challenge was given, what is Dharma? What is religion? What is piety? So they are replying, Veda pranihita dharma. Dharma means the injunction given in the Vedas. That is Dharma. Just like if you ask what is law, then the immediate answer is law means the injunction of the state. You cannot make it law. The state, the government, whatever the government orders, that is law. The word of the government is law. Similarly, Dharma means the injunctions given in the Vedas. It is clearly said, Veda pranihita dharma. Jadharma tad viparjaya. And non-religion or irreligion or non-religion is just the opposite. For example, if you abide by the laws of the Vedas, then you should know that you are following the path of Dharma or religion. But if you do not abide by the laws of Vedas, then you are irreligious. This is the common substance. Now, why Vedas should be accepted so seriously? At least we who are supposed to be followers of the Vedic laws, we take it so seriously. For example, how we accept the injunctions of Vedas seriously. There is example, a stool, animal stool, or any human being stool is stool. The stool is supposed to be impure. If you touch stool, then you have to take your bath. You become impure. You have to take your bath. As we do generally, after passing stool, we take bath. That is a Hindu injunction. And if a man goes twice for passing stool, he must take twice bath. That is the real Hindu religious life. Now, stool, in one place it is said that it is impure. If you touch, then you have to take your bath. In another place it is said, this stool, particular, the cow dung is pure. Cow dung is pure. If there is any impure place, if you smear over it cow dung, then it is pure. That is also injunction of the Veda. Now you cannot argue that one place you say that this stool is impure and another place you say this is pure. This is contradiction. Sometimes people find this contradiction. But you have to accept because it is injunction of the Veda. That you are doing practically every day. Similarly, this bone, any bone, animal bone, if you touch, you have to take bath. You become impure. But these corn cells, which are sounding, vibrating in the deity room, that is also bone. But you cannot argue that you say bone is impure, why you are taking one bone in the deity room? That you cannot. This is acceptance of Vedas, without any argument. And if you want to know why one is accepted pure and one is accepted impure, if you make research, you will find that the Vedic injunction is right. Take first this cow dung. Perhaps you doctor know that one Dr. Lalmohan Ghosh in Calcutta, he analyzed this cow dung and he was a professor in the medical college. He has declared that cow dung is full of antiseptic properties. The Vedic injunction is that is right. But sometimes it appears to be contradictory. But we cannot judge how it is so contradictory. We have to accept like that. That is the following of Vedic rules. So similarly, in the Bhagavad Gita, you will find Krishna has explained so many ways, karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, hatha yoga, so many other things. But ultimately he says bhakti yoga is the supreme. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekang saranam. Mam ekang saranam vaja means this is bhakti yoga. One has to simply obey or surrender unto Krishna, giving up all other types of religious principles. So one can say that Lord Krishna said in some places of the Bhagavad Gita, as this yoga, karma yoga is nice, jnana yoga is nice. No, the last one, what he says, that is to be accepted. You cannot argue that Krishna said karma yoga is also good. You cannot argue that I shall take to karma yoga. That is karma yoga, different stages of evolution. One who is fit for simply karma yoga, that process is recommended for him. But if one ultimately wants the supreme benefit, then this is the injunction of Bhagavad Gita, that sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam saranam vraja. So we have to follow the Vedic principles. That is Dharma. And why Vedic principles are to be accepted as supreme? That is also explained here. Veda pranihito dharma jadharma sad viparjaya Veda Narayana Sakshat. Veda means Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly. Just like law book is directly government. Similarly, Veda Narayana Sakshat, Swayambhu, it is Susuma. Again he said, Susuma, I have heard it. I have heard it. When I say I have heard it, that means I have heard it from a superior authority. Susuma. And no followers of Vedic principle will say, it is my opinion. Your opinion is nonsense. What you are. This is the way of understanding Veda. Susuma. Therefore Veda is known as Shruti. Shruti and Smriti. There is no such thing that in my opinion I comment like this, I take the meaning like this. No. You have to understand it by the Susuma process or Sautapantha, by hearing from the authority. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Imam vivasati yogam pruktavan aham abhyam. So first of all, I said this principle of Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga or Bhagavad Gita Yoga to the Sun God. Imam vivasati yogam pruktavan aham. I spoke, pruktavan. Vivasan manave prahu. And the Sun God said to his son, Manu, Manu ikhagave bravit, that means the principles of Bhagavad Gita is being accepted by the process of hearing from authority. That is the process. You cannot comment in your own way. That is not authorized. You have to hear from the authority. Therefore Kathopanishad says, Tadvijnanatham sa gurumeva avigachet. If anyone wants to learn the transcendental science, he has to accept. Gachet. This is beginning. Must. There is no exception. You cannot say that without going to spiritual master, I shall learn the transcendental science. No, that is not possible. Therefore, in our Vaishnava principle, it is said, Adau Gudbhasram, and the very beginning of understanding spiritual knowledge, one has to take shelter of a guru. Adau Gudbhasram, Sadharma Pricha. The next stage is inquiring from the spiritual master about real spiritual life. These are the process. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also, it is said that Tasmad Gurum Prabhaddeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttama. One who has actually serious about inquiring supreme subject, Uttama. Udgata Tamam Jasmat. In the material world, all knowledge is covered with illusion. And material world is known as tama, tamasi ma, jyoti gama. This is darkness. So, real knowledge means which has surpassed this province of darkness. Uttamam. Jignasu se uttamam. Anyone who has become very much inquisitive to learn about the transcendental subject matter, he has to accept a guru. Tasmat gurum prapaddit. Guru means you have to find out some personality who is well versed in the Vedic knowledge. Sabde paretan nisnatam brahmani upasamasam. These are the symptoms of Guru. That he is well versed, well cognizant in the conclusion of the Vedas. Not only that, he is well versed, but he has actually in his life taken to that path, upasamasam, without being deviated by any other way. Upasama, he has finished all material hankering. He has taken simply to the spiritual life and simply surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And at the same time, he knows all the Vedic conclusion. This is the description of a Guru. Similarly, Kathopanishad also it is said, Tasmat Gurum Prapaddeta, this is Bhagavad. Tad Vijnanatham sa Gurumeva Vijaste, Samit Pani Srotriyam. One who has very nicely heard, one who has acquired Vedic knowledge by the hearing process, Srotriyam, Brahmanis. And the result is that is fully, firmly fixed up in Brahma. Bhagavad Gita also says that Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena srivoya. So, if you want to understand the spiritual knowledge, then you have to learn it by surrender, panipat. Panipatena pariprasnena and sevaya. These three things. You have to surrender, you have to inquire or make questions with service, not by challenging. Upadikhanti tad jnanam jnanina tattva darshana. Then you will be able to understand real spiritual knowledge. So, Veda pranihita, this very word is implicated with so many ideas of Vedic knowledge. But they are summarized. The Dharma means the injunctions of the Veda. Dharma, Veda pranihito dharma, jadharma sad viparjaya, Vedo Narayana Shaksa. Why Vedas should be taken so seriously? People question the Vedas are written by some man. That's wrong. Vedas are not written by any man. Otherwise, why Vedas should be taken so seriously? Not at present moment, it is coming. All the acharyas, so far we are concerned, we Indian Hindus, we are being controlled by the acharyas. Recent acharyas, Sankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhyacharya, Vishnu Swami, they have accepted Vedas as supreme. Lord Chaitanya accepted Vedas as the supreme. And Lord Buddha, although he accepted incarnation of God, still, because he did not accept Vedas, his philosophy was not accepted in India. Vedana mania bodha hiladasti. Our principle, the Vedic principle is that anyone who does not obey the injunctions of the Vedas, he is called Nasti, atheist. He does not believe. Vedana mania bodha hiladasti. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, we consider the Buddhists as atheists because they do not accept the Vedic principles. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, जो वेदाश्रय नास्तिक का बाद बौद्ध के अधिक. But persons who superficially say that we are being controlled by the Vedas, but actually they are atheists, they do not believe in God, they are more dangerous than these Buddhists. That is the person of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, dharma pranihata, veda pranihito dharma, jadharma sad viparjaya, veda narayana shastra. Veda narayana shastra. This is the injunction. You have to accept the Vedic words as the words of Narayana. Now, if you accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then whatever he has said in the Bhagavad Gita, that is Veda. Is it not? If Veda Narayana Saksha, if Vedas are to be considered as Narayana directly, then Krishna is accepted by the Acharyas as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the conclusion of the Vedas also. Narayana is expansion of Krishna. If you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, and there are many other Samhitas, Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of God. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadi Radi Govinda, Sarva Karana Karana. Even he is the cause of Narayana. Krishna expansion. Krishna expands. Advaita Achyuta Anadi Ananta Rupam. He is Advaita, absolute, but he expands himself in multi-forms. He expands himself as Baladev, and from Baladev there is Sankarshan, from Sankarshan there is Aniruddha, Pradyumna. In this way expansion goes. These are Vedic versions. So, Narayana is also Krishna's expansion. Although these expansions are not different from one another. That is also the example is given. Just like one candle, then you light up another candle, another candle. Each one of these candles are equally powerful. But the original candle is called the first candle. Similarly, Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. From him, all other expansions, they are called Vishnu Tattva. And Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava, Aham Adi Devanam. These things are there. So in this way, we have to accept Dharma as it is said, and the recent, say within 5,000 years, the Krishna consciousness is actually, we are spreading. This Krishna consciousness means what Krishna has said, that we have taken. That is Veda. Sometimes people argue that Bhagavad Gita is Smriti. Professor Dr. Stahl, he argued with me that Bhagavad Gita is Smriti. Smriti means the Vedic conclusion written by somebody else. That is called Smriti. He is also authorized. So Bhagavad Gita is also accepted as Smriti. But Smriti is not different from Shruti. Rupa Goswami says, Shruti Smriti Puranadi Panchadastri ki vidhin vina Vaikanti ki Hare Bhakti Utpata eva kalpa. So, Smriti is not without merit. Sometimes people do not accept the Puranas as Vedic. No. Here it is said by Rupa Goswami, Shruti, Sriti, Puranadi. They are all Vedas. Purana means supplementary. Just as the Vedic knowledge is described in the Mahabharata. It is in the form of history, but actually the Vedic knowledge is there. That is also stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Stri Shudra Dijabandhunang Traina Shruti Gochara. Stri, woman, Shudra, and Dijabandhu. Dijabandhu means a person who is born in Brahmin family, but he is not advanced in spiritual knowledge. He is called Dijabandhu, he is not called a Brahmin. Stri, Shudra, and they are classified along with Stri and Shudra. Stri, Shudra, Dijabandhuna, Traina, Shruti Gochara. For these persons, it is very difficult to understand the Vedic injunction. Therefore, the Vedic injunctions are sometimes made into historical stories. The stories, they are not a fiction, they are fact. But some of the, just like the battle of Kurukshetra between the Pandavas and the Kauravas, this is a fact. But the incidences are so nice that you can derive Vedic knowledge from them. And Bhagavad Gita is within Mahabharata. So, this is a fact that Veda Pranihita Dharma. Dharma, it is to be settled that Dharma means the injunction of the Supreme Narayana. And Adharma means that you manufacture something out of your own fertile brain. That is Adharma. And Dharma means the injunction. Dharma sakshat bhagavat pranita. Dharma means what is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is Dharma. Therefore we take it for acceptance. The Krishna says, that is actually the fact. Mam ekang saranam, to surrender unto Krishna, that is Dharma. Sarvadharman parityaja. And in another place of the Bhagavad Gita it says, Bahunam janmanam ante, jnanavan mang prapaddati. Those who are thinking themselves are advanced in knowledge, such persons, after many, many births, take to the surrendering process to Krishna. So, the version of Srimad Bhagavatam and version of the Vedas and version of Bhagavad Gita, there is no difference. It has to be studied a little carefully. I think we can finish here. Any question? Now we have come to the conclusion, Dharma means the words of the Supreme Personality of God. This is sum and substance. What do you mean by Dharma? That means Dharma cannot be manufactured by any conditioned soul. Conditioned souls, they are subjected to so many deficiencies. Therefore, they cannot create any Dharma. That will not be accepted as Dharma. Here, as the assistant of Jamaraj says, that Veda Pranihita Dharma. Dharma means what is stated in the Vedas. And Vedas means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sakshat, direct. Just like when you speak or hear Bhagavad Gita, immediately we should know, at least this vision we take, that Krishna is directly speaking. And if we interpret, then the whole thing is lost. That is not Bhagavad Gita. And that is going on. Malinterpretation of Bhagavad Gita. Everyone is taking Bhagavad Gita and is interpreting in his own way. So that is not Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita means, as Krishna says, Krishna says, Manmana bhavamad bhakta madhyaji mang namaskuru. But a commentator, a big commentator says, oh, it is not to Krishna, to the person. You see, this kind of commentary is going on.
Prabhupada, you said that the animals are not subject to the laws of the state. So if they steal something, they're not punished. But in our country, even if a person has a mouse in his house, a little mouse, he sets some trap and he kills him for stealing some food. So what is
that? That is not punishment, that is to stop the disturbance. By law, there is no such law that when there is a rat in your house, you should catch it and kill it. Law does not say.
Yes.
Is there in law like that?
No.
Well, that is it. That is another.
So just taking knowledge into their own.
Yes, but sometimes that depends on the person. Sometimes those are pious persons, they know that these rats, they are also hungry. And they should be given some food. And that is the vision of the pious person. And that is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that in your house you should see not only to the welfare of your children, even there is a lizard, there is a rat, even there is a snake, you should see how he is also comfortably situated. That is spiritual communism. In Vrindavan still, a snake found in the house is never killed. A snake. Still, a rat is never killed. If you kill a rat in Vrindavan, then so many people will come. Oh, you are committing such sinful acts. You kill a rat. So that depends on the mentality of the person. You can take care of this animal. You can take care of this animal, I mean to say, against the disturbance created by this animal, but you cannot kill them. That is not. But when it is unavoidable, we have to do like that. But as far as possible, we should avoid. We have heard from our father that his elder brother in the village had a cloth shop, and there were rats. So at night he would keep a big bowl of rice in the middle of the shop, and the rats will eat whole night. They will not commit any harm to the cloth. They respect it. They are also hungry. They are also living entities. They have also right to live, to eat. Ishavastamidam sadvam. Everything. They are God's creatures. The food is not only meant for you, that you shall simply eat rice and not allow to the rats and cats. No, that is not a Vedic injunction you will find in the Srimad Bhagavatam. You can take precautions against, after all they are animals, but you cannot kill.
But then if you think further, then that if you are going to make a program to feed the animals in your house, then won't more and more animals come until there won't be much room for you in your business. Suppose I feed these rats and I go on feeding them, those more and more rats.
Well, the rats will be fed, either you give or not. It will steal. So that is not the problem. But if you give them food, they will, of course that is Western philosophy. And because animals are increasing, they should be killed. We Indians also, we have taken that view, because we cannot give protection to the cows, they must be sent to the slaughterhouse. That is the modern views. But that is not injunction of the Vedas. The Vedas say that everyone has right to live, every living entity. That is going on not only in consideration of the animals, even in human beings. That's like the Americans. They were all Europeans. They entered this American land, killed so many Red Indians. So these kind of things are going on. That does not mean that is the law. You kill so many Red Indians for your benefit, but you have to suffer for that. This is going on in the human society, but that does not mean it is dharma. No. Dharma means you have to abide by the regulation given by the Veda. You have to adjust things. Sometimes in Africa, the man-eaters, they kill their grandfather, make a feast. The Russians also, they maintain such theory that old men, they should be neglected. I have heard, I do not know. They become burden. But that is not Vedic.
But isn't that natural? It's like now we're not to keep an old bull in the barn.
Yes. These things are man-manufactured. Dharmantu sakshat bhagavattvani. That we have to accept the words of Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is Dharma.
Bhaktivedanta in one of his prayers says, pray that he may be born as a worm in the home of thy devotee, rather than be born a Brahmin averse to thee.
Yes. In Srimad Bhagavatam, every line is so interesting. Therefore, Vidya Bhagavatavati, knowledge means the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam. But generally people do not discuss Bhagavatam in this way. They go immediately to the 10th canto and Ras Lila. That is the subject matter of Bhagavatam. And Bhagavad Saptaha means that Krishna is kissing the gopis, that's all. And there are so many nice instructions, that is not good. They are neglected because they do not like to hear such instructions. Krishna's dealings with the gopis, that is very much liked. But Bhagavad, in order to understand Krishna, 9 cantos have been made. And Krishna's activities have been inserted in the 10th canto, after understanding Krishna. Vettimang tattam, as it is said in the Bhagavad Gita. Manusyanam sahasresu kaschid jatati siddhaya jatatam siddham. So first of all, one has to become liberated person by understanding Krishna. Then he can understand what is Krishna's pastimes with the gopis. It is for the liberated person. It is not a thing to be explained in the marketplace.
Preceding lecture was recorded on the morning of the 21st December 1970 in Surat, Gujarat.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.